What's happening, ladies and gentlemen of League Zero, and welcome to the postseason press conference for Hyperflex. As you can see, we have a lot of them here. So, going from the top of the voice chat thing to the bottom, we got, who the hell is at the top? It's Alucard. The Flex TPS, we have Regan, the manager, and main support? Flex support? I saw you on both.
Both.
Axel, coach? I don't think you played? You're too high.
He's plat.
Burning Blade, or Blazing Blade, sorry.
And the whole time we just traded him because he was a smurf.
Blazing Blade, DPS, Dizzy, Coach, Golden Pants, Flex. Yeah,
Flex.
Gordo, Loud Guy.
Second that.
Who's that? Oh, Drowsy, Captain, Herping Yoshi, Off Tank, Paradox, former manager / Flex support, Alley Skies / Rifles.
Tank.
Yes.
Whatever the hell you play, and then Sad Boy TPS. So we got some questions for you today, some of which were specifically made for you guys, some more general questions that I'll get to towards the end to wind down the press conference. So starting off with the first question, I think this is probably the best one to start off with. So this one's submitted anonymously, but the question is, throughout the season there were constant rumors that one of the main reasons you guys were having so much trouble was because you guys would tilt. How true is this?
Not really
It's
true.
less of tilt and more of Hyperflex is a really emotional team. Our
Agreed.
emotional state affected a lot of how we played. Like, if we were feeling really great, we would play really great, but if we were, like, upset about something, not even necessarily tilted, it would impact our performance.
Unless we were angry at the other team, then we'd roll their faces.
What, you mean Placha? Yeah.
Yeah.
This is why
When I was drafting the team, I was really focused on trying to find players who would not tilt. And it's difficult to find that in the short time that pugs were happening. But what we did end up with on Hyperflex was a really good group of players and coaches. So I think tilting is kind of in the nature of Overwatch sometimes, where if you're tilting, that means you're invested in the game. That means you care about what's going on. You care about the results. So that's always nice to see. It's unfortunate sometimes, the way that it impacts the game and the mental health. But I think overall, it just shows that we really cared about the game that we were playing, and we had a good time playing it with, as a team and as the environment. So I agree with Regan, is more of the emotional state kind of thing. I wouldn't say that tilting directly led to us having difficulties. But I think we did the best that we could with what we had.
this is why I always like to say that Gordo was a big point for our team, because he helped keep our emotions from being like annoyed or angry. Well, not angry, annoyed or sad or whatever, to just keeping it always positive, which definitely helped us play better.
I think mainly the thing we struggled with was just a bit of composition and a bit of there, here, and there, and sometimes we were not in the best mood to play. Sometimes we were. It's just based on how we were feeling during that day. Like Flash Chat, for example, we were feeling really good. Unlucky beginning half with Alucard and everything, but we pulled it back together and we won the series.
Okay.
Got the McDonald's Wi-Fi.
Well, speaking of...
True. Alucard's
true.
Wi-Fi trying to throw against Flatjet again.
Yeah.
Again. No, the first time was the haircut. Come on, man.
Yeah, it was the haircut the first
Yeah,
time,
one
but
was the haircut. Now, dude, that was the Oasis specialist week.
where's the specialist?
Please continue, Akri.
Alright, so the next question is from, quote, Anonymous, but we all know who submitted this one. So
Oh no.
the question is, if you had to nominate one person as the team MVP this season, who would it be, and why is it Gordo?
Wait, that wasn't me!
Yeah,
from
framing!
Alright, you clearly have not seen Little Puppy play Genji. Let's be real.
It's true.
Be Genji.
Dude, he's the MVP with all his one-man blades.
I like that this
One
question conveniently
one-man
forgets that we actually did nominate a team MVP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
We did?
We
Yeah.
submitted this after.
Yeah, wait, what?
Did we? Hello?
Dude,
When?
when you were fucking voting for All Stars, you can vote for team MVPs, you fucking idiots.
Wait, but like, who did we pick?
Who won?
Regan won it.
Oh god, I could look it up.
Sims?
Yeah, Regan won it.
Simps.
No? Everyone
Why'd y'all
sucking
allow
up to the
that?
manager. Sucking up to the manager. Classic Alucard move.
You know what's bad when
Yeah,
I voted
Fucking playtime.
I think I voted for Puppy for that, but we
Okay,
don't
see,
it.
here's the thing, I'm
Honestly,
really offended. That was not
I did not
me
know
who
about
did
this.
Did you vote for All Stars?
Who was?
Yeah.
God.
Well, that answers
Speaking-
that question.
I want to provide a little bit of input on my end. I think we had a lot of really solid players on this team, and you could look at MVP from a lot of different angles,
Who's
right?
that?
If you look at like the general team, in and out of game,
Bad boys.
names like Regan and Little Puppy come to mind just because of how much they did to help team morale, even when the games weren't going as well. Yoshi and Alucard's mechanics in game, they would save fights, they would save maps countless number of times just by popping off. Gordo coming in mid-season helped a lot, right? Sad Boy, his second half of the season, when he was here instead of on vacation.
In Spain.
Yeah,
Whoa.
in Spain without informing us, but I think there's a lot of really solid players here, but I think overall MVP, from my perspective, Regan and Puppy are the two, and
Puppy's
Drowsy as
amazing.
well. It's just the overall help they provided to the team through the thick and the thin of the season.
What about Dizzy for Dordo? Fucking Dordo.
Right.
Well, Dizzy as the coach, when we brought Dizzy on as a coach, he really helped get the discipline down that we were lacking.
Before my burnt out.
Yeah.
But coaching MVPs and player MVPs are different categories for sure.
I mean, Dizzy did buy us all Overwatch League skins for not losing to Rio, so he
I forgot about
He
that.
did do that.
That's
I
a
never
big old
received
plus one.
That was a waste of $5. Wait,
Yeah,
no,
I
that's
never
more
see
than
one
$5.
either.
You're not here.
You weren't on the team for that. It was week 5.
Wait,
Never mind, I thought you were saying the second time.
Wait, why didn't Golden get it? That's like the 1 week he played, because like,
I
Second
time?
Dizzy-
actually, justice for Golden Pants. Give him
Yeah,
his skin.
justice for
I
Dordo.
did! Unless I bought 2 for myself on
You
accident.
did, I think, because I didn't get one.
Okay, when I get money. I'm broke right now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Teams imploding before your
So,
eyes.
so
actually.
the next question comes from Zach T from Platchat. He wants to know, how did the change in leadership mid-season affect the team in the long term?
In the long term, I feel like it helped a lot.
Nice answer.
Okay.
Listen, if I had an answer for you, I'd give it to you, but I don't fucking know.
From my perspective,
I think
in the short term, it was like, it was a mess. Like, we kind of just forced Regan to do it. Me and Dizzy were talking. We're like, yeah, we don't want it, and we forced Regan to do it, and we made them kind of like lead Hyperflex. But eventually, we kind of figured it out, and we like eventually got back to where we were before, and I think it worked out better in the long run because I feel like everyone was like equally as happy or a little bit happier by the end of the season, especially after we beat Platchat. But
How many more times can we bring up beating Platchat?
You're gonna be bringing it up a
My
few more
manager,
times.
Brandon is going to hate me.
you think it won't be once.
It's going to continue.
It's gonna be every question. You understand this, right?
Yeah, every question.
One more question, I think.
Two
I
more.
would give my side of the story for the second half of the season, but I wasn't on the team.
Yeah.
God.
True.
I wasn't there for
Yeah.
the first time,
So
so I
actually,
don't know what
speaking-
changes happened.
Speaking of beating Platchat, how did you guys prep for your quarterfinals match?
Okay, listen.
One trick dash.
Alright, listen. Hold on. There was a large training arc that went on for my character development.
Hello?
I was in a small custom game with Mr. Drowsy OW and Axel Paxel, listening to the countdown so I could hear everybody call me a Genji one trick for the 7th time. And then Little Puppy through the rhythm bot, he played the Naruto music, and I trained for 10 long years. And after my Wi-Fi came back, we won the game. So
That's basically sums it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much the story of how we that was our plan actually. I going his router out. I needed to add the pressure, so
we purposely unplugged his router so that it could be
Yeah.
a tweet.
We also
Wait.
like molded ourselves to hell by playing against like master players for like a good
Did I
while.
think you
I mean,
guys
do you
do that
forget
a
the
few
time
weeks
where we
before the
off-rolled
quarter
against
finals?
Rio? That shit was pretty pog.
Did I make you guys
But no,
from
Animars,
Diamond
like-
Masters players the week before Plat Chat, like the game?
I don't
I think I
one
did.
day of that
No,
week.
that was bye week, but as far as prepping for Plat Chat went, we already knew what they were weak against. It's Fire Mercy Double Shield. They've shown like serious like distaste for the comp in the past, and they seem to tilt whenever they play against it. So I just
Can you
told
bring up the hate
Axel
mail?
like, yes, Maverick has sent hate mail.
Hate mail Maverick.
It was kind of funny. I love you, Maverick. That was fucking hilarious.
Slurs.
But
He didn't call me slurs. He just called me hate mail.
He didn't call you slurs. Shut up.
He did not call me a slur. He just sent me hate mail. There's a difference.
No, I told Axel and Dizzy they don't like Fire Mercy, and Double Shield plays to her strengths, and then Axel made a comp that was good for it.
It was very close to the spam meta that Overwatch League plays, so good job, Axel.
Axel predicted the meta.
Wait, I thought that was
I had to
Lily's.
play Ash.
Wasn't that Lily's comp or no? Oh no, Lily did it with the wisdom comp. Never mind.
Lilith didn't do
I
shit.
mean, we might have stolen some ideas from Lilith. It's okay.
I meant good job, Axel. Good job. We did it. You did it.
Yay, Axel.
Whoa, next question before we remember anything
And
else.
actually, speaking of your game, like what Corbs wants to know, what was the mentality like when you went down 2-0?
Sheer anger.
Kill them.
Just straight kill them.
We saw they ran the OTW comp. We were like, okay, these
They're
guys
actually
deserve to
not.
die now.
Yeah,
so you have
they
chosen
shot
death.
themselves in the foot by running Bastion on like the third fucking round of Hanamura.
I have a really good.
That actually broke me.
Yeah. I think like half of our team was like mentally broken, and then someone gave like a pep talk. Alucard came back, and we were like, okay, we win these now.
No, I have a
Come to
good
rule.
example. Okay, you guys, everyone remember watching the stream, and I made Regan die for a good bit.
Yeah, don't do that again.
Because the moment I saw Bastion, I started I mauled it the hell off. I just slammed my head against my decimal.
Gordo, that was 2 or 3 maps after.
I know,
that.
but I did it. I know, but with the coordinate, I got hyped.
And then on Nepal, you made Regan choke and it transferred to Plat Chat.
Okay, but no, that shit actually hurt. Fuck off.
You
Regan was
choked
straight
on
up
water.
just choke mode.
No.
You were a whole adult choking on water.
Yeah, I didn't expect to fucking breathe it in because Gordo did something so fucking mind-numbingly stupid.
Can you tell me a time throughout the entire season where Gordo didn't do something stupid and all of us, or choke in general? Fucking Dordo.
Good point.
Dordo.
No, Dordo's the map, not the player.
Dordo's a map.
Well, speaking of team endearment, what did you
Wait,
guys do for team bonding exercises?
We played a whole shitty Minecraft minigame.
Don't ring me in with you weirdos.
Shut up. No one was watching
Anime, don't
You're the
ring me
reason-
in.
Shut up, shut up, shut up,
No.
shut up.
Alucard, you literally got the entire team to just watch anime multiple times for multiple
Literally,
days.
I cannot watch
Oh.
Naruto without imagining Axel's voice as Naruto.
Yeah, I never changed it.
It started as anime, and then it went to Minecraft, and then it went to D&D, and it's just like
Oh, and for a
Stupid
while we did the
stuff.
quotes game. That was pretty epic.
that was.
I know.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
God,
I
Anyone
even-
want Hyperflex quotes?
No, we're not
Don't
doing that
leak
right
it.
now.
No, we're not doing that.
Basically,
You're sure
How would you think the leak Hyperflex quote?
the quotes game is basically we would have all the quotes randomized, and someone would read out one quote, and everyone else has to guess who said it, and it's usually Gordo or Puppy.
I have no
There's
problem
the
with Puppy.
occasional
Puppy just has the
of,
funny ones.
One thing
Travis,
that I
you
know
can't call a
That
racist
was
out
a
of
hard
team
moment.
Okay, okay. Context. I can say the N-word. I'm black.
Listen, remember when
Hey,
National Pass completely just
What if I have a
dismantled the
black
little
on the
puppies?
same route as me, right?
No.
Don't.
Look, half the season has been people asking me under what conditions they can say the N-word.
Don't worry, Jazz. You
Yeah,
got
Jazz,
the Emerald
you
Pass from
lost.
Regan. Jazz, you got the Emerald Pass from Regan. You're fine.
Okay, so
Alright.
before we say anything and make Akane to edit more stuff, let's move on to the next question.
If that part's
Alright.
edited out, I'm doing League 0.
Honestly.
So,
Okay, baby.
let's see. What is the next question? What would be your biggest regret from this season?
Me.
No, that's not it. Trust me.
There's a lot.
Very surprised.
For me,
Meaning
Not
that-
taking myself seriously. That's my regret.
bro.
Yeah.
For me as a coach, I
think
just
we all-
kind of felt like I didn't commit hard enough like when I joined because games didn't matter like a week after I joined. So I'm like, oh, okay, I should just like coach micro and then but like don't be too harsh on it. By the time playoffs came, I was just like genuinely a little burnt out, but also to some degree just kind of overwhelming to try to like fix everything like in the span of a week. Like that's definitely something I regret. I'm not sure about Dizzy, but for me that's probably
For
the biggest
me,
part.
it was after my burnt out. I kind of just.
I mean, on top of that, it was like a lot of us like not even booming ourselves, just like being too down on ourselves and not realizing like where we started and where we ended up versus like how we were doing in like games and stuff. Like, because our weekly growth was
I
kind of
should
like
not download
insane for-
Bullet do while being a press conference. I'm sorry. Alright,
but like our weekly growth and everything like through our scrims was kind of insane, and I don't think like we really noticed it until we started like looking back on the season. Like we didn't take good hard looks at like how much we actually grew as a team, and we were just focusing on like our record or oh I did this wrong, I did that wrong, and not noticing like how much we'd grown.
Yeah, honestly, before our second Wisdom game, we had like a whole training montage, I guess you could say. And like that reflected in the Wisdom game where we almost took 2 maps off of them. But, like,
Did beat Wisdom one time in scrims though. That is our.
We've beaten them multiple times in scrims, but also Rio has beaten Wisdom in scrims.
yeah.
Mr.
so,
Akunida,
like,
there's a person in lobby 1A.
Oh.
yeah. Oh, it's melancholy.
I
Mr.
don't have
Nolan,
to talk here, but
I didn't
Hello,
take
Mr.
the
Mouse.
y'all
transition from.
I'm surprised that was week 7 Geo.
Okay, we can.
Okay, I guess I'll die. I didn't take the transition from captain to coach, not coach, captain to manager very well. Like, towards the end of the season, I burnt out hard, and I could have done that better. I could have done a lot of things managing-wise better for this team. But it's my first time as a player on a team, my first time as a captain, and then my first time as a manager all in one season, so I didn't do it very well.
Pog T, bro.
Done it all in one season, not to flex.
I don't like having done it all in one season.
Zero.
It's fucking exhausting!
I would say as my big regret is that I wasn't able to be the manager that my team needed when we got into the thick of the season, right? The reason that I stepped down as manager is because I felt that I couldn't make the trades and the moves that were necessary to help the team, right? I wanted the team to be kind of a cohesive unit and environment, and I didn't want people to feel like they weren't getting playtime. I didn't want people to feel like they wanted to go play for other teams. It became really clear after week 6, and even a little bit before then, that style that I was kind of envisioning wasn't healthy for the team, and changes needed to be made. So I think if I had paid more attention in the weeks prior, I could have maybe helped out more and prevented a lot of the struggles that we kind of had in that middle of the season. I don't regret stepping down as manager. I think that was the right move. I think that ended up working out the best for the team as a whole, but I wish I would have taken the steps earlier to have possibly prevented that stepping in the first place.
Yeah, that second Blackjack game, that's one of the things I regret, only because we didn't decide who was playing main, because Puppy was gone that week. We didn't decide who was playing main tank until like a day or two before it, and then that didn't give Gordo enough practice time for what we needed, and it was just a mess, and then that caused everyone to like either want to leave or just die or just in general not have a good time. And
Wait,
that's
things dying, just like Neji?
he's muted right now.
Uh,
So try it again later.
You know, it's getting emotional.
Hey, man.
You know, I was ready to shed a tear. Now you've ruined it. You've ruined it.
All
Hey,
right.
but hey,
Well,
look,
we got,
we ended up finishing 4th, but like, imagine being 5th.
Imagine losing in playoffs with a 5th place team in a reverse.
All I'm
Oh my
saying
God,
is
yeah, let's go.
we ended at the same place as OTW.
But we had more
That's all
playoff wins.
that's all I'm saying. We tied with OTW. Like,
Yeah, but we actually had a playoff win, so.
And we never
Okay, wait.
wait, does that make us third place
together
because
now.
we tied with them? We
Okay.
tied with them, but we won a game.
Chill.
All right, so I have one last question for you. It'll be a quick one to answer, and I've been asking this to all the novice teams because why not? Do you stand know you?
No.
No, wait. Hold on, I got a message for that little 14-year-old.
Shut up, Gordo!
Gordo, no.
I think
respect
Little
him.
Puppy does, but for the rest of
I
us,
respect
no.
my ground.
I'm sure.
Legitimately, this was the opposite. Geometric, everyone instantly said yes.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Every other team besides
We
Gio
don't
said
stand
no.
no you because we knocked his team out of playoffs.
Look, when this guy thinks that he can talk
I
bad
do,
about our
however,
players,
stand how I am.
like when he can talk bad about he thinks he can talk bad about our players, then lose to us, then still talk bad about our players, there's something wrong there.
I'm not Gold Star worthy, by the way.
No one really talks bad about me. Unless you're a Colby.
Oh no.
Don't be a Colby.
We don't have to Kobe for a reason, it's fine.
All right, well, thank you all for showing up. This is by far the largest turnout we've had for a press conference thus far.
Listen, you raw dog this and just upload it completely unedited. Please.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, actually, just don't edit it.
Listen,
Do one
listen,
edited
listen.
and one unedited, just so people can see.
Okay,
I'm
listen,
not editing
listen,
this. I'm
real
cutting
quick,
off the
real quick.
beginning and the end. So like,
Hell yeah.
Okay, real quick.
Okay,
Real
because
quick.
this is
Dividing by
Hyperflex. We
zero.
are just
Dividing by zero.
memes.
Dividing by zero.
He's not
We're
here.
dividing.
I don't care. He's gonna watch this. Me and Dizzy, we have a big plan that would very much renovate
Don't
the
support
next
this
season of this
capitalism
era.
bullshit.
You should implement this new system. Okay, it's called dividing
we need
box.
a
I'll let
Bible.
my partner in
We need a
crime, Dizzy,
Bible.
here explain what it is.
Oh, divided bucks.
You
heard
the
it?
PowerPoint?
Yeah, I'm getting the PowerPoint.
Dizzy can explain.
oh dude,
I wish I
well,
could stream with
have
you.
fun. Thanks, Zachary. I'm leaving.
same.